is up, guys? It is JRob back here again with you guys this week for another walkthrough and guide video for Shiruba Springs 9-hole cup in this rookie division. So before we hop on over to hole number 1, par 4 here for Shiruba Springs, if you guys have not clicked that subscribe button down there below, please take a minute and click that subscribe button for us and smash that like button. Click that notification bell and turn those notifications on so you at least get that small notification when we drop our latest content. And if you would also like to check out our Facebook groups, we will have a link in our description below to the few Facebook groups that we do have that we post our content in. So if you guys would be so kind to do that, it would be greatly appreciated, as well as we do have a donation link if you're feeling kind and would like to donate, but that's not required. So let's hop on over to hole number 1, par 4 here for Shiruba Springs. Alright guys, what is up? Welcome to the Rookie Division walkthrough and guide video here for Shiruba Springs 9-hole cup. So we've got a couple different ways here that we could play this hole as well, but as far as the plan goes behind this hole here, we are going to play this hole here on the right hand side. We had a nice tailwind here, which was very good for the clip because we're hoping to possibly get a tailwind here in the tournament. So what we're going to do here is play this with a little bit of curl to the left here. We're going to use, I would recommend either a power 2 or a power 3 ball here at least. But what the end goal here is to try to bounce over the side of that bunker and get down here as far curled to the left here as we possibly can. The curl to the left here is going to eliminate a lot of our distance because if not, we're going to be at about minimum distance here with the long iron. It's going to be mixed up in clubs. So what we're going to want to do here is try to curl that around so we have a short iron here at max distance to the pin. And we're just going to play this shot here at 0%. So this is going to actually be, I moved this just a little bit too far. I was playing this at 10% here at first to see what it would be like. So I played it all the way to the red ring. But what we should have done there is played it just to the middle of the red ring. So if we play that adjustment right here, our ball is going to come in fairly perfect, and hole number 1 should be a very nice hole there to grab the eagle. That's going to be a very great opportunity there for you guys. As we go through the tournament guide here, guys, we're going to have a couple of the shots that you guys are going to absolutely have to make if you want to do the best that you possibly can. And a lot of these clips here are going to be some old footage that we had throughout the gallery, so I hope you guys can bear with us here. But what we're going to do, like we talked about here, is play this right straight at the pin here with about 1.5 bars to 2 bars of backspin. And at 3.7 here, that was an entire red ring adjustment for me on that specific adjustment there. So that is why I moved it all the way to the red ring there. But just make sure that you can make a nice wind adjustment here straight at the pin, and you should come in very nice for the eagle on hole number 1, par 4 there for Shiruba Springs. But alright guys, that is going to move us on over to hole number 2, par 3 here for Shiruba Springs. So this is old footage, so keep that in mind. So we will tell you the new spin numbers. We're going to play this with 1 bar of right side spin, and we're going to play this with roughly 2.5 to 3 bars of backspin here. We're going to play this with our long iron. I would recommend either the Grizzly or the Goliath, or whichever long iron gives you the best ball guide. You could also play this here with a Quasar or a Katana, something that gives you a little bit of wind resistance, like a Navigator. But basically straight at the pin, leave it a couple squares shy, and you should come in there fairly nice there for the hole in 1. But that's going to move us on over here to hole number 3, par 5, the first par 5 that we do have here today for Shiruba Springs. So this hole here can be a little bit tricky for some of you guys. It almost looks like you might want to curl it to the right there, and that's why I was showing you guys. Now, if you do curl it to the right, trying to bounce over that rough line there, you will end up probably going into the rough, maybe rolling out into the fairway, but we don't really want to flirt with that bunker here. So what we're going to do here is play this with full topspin on our extra mile 7. I would recommend about 5 bars, 6 bars here. And we're going to play this at max distance plus 10% elevation here off of the tee box. We can play this with a little bit of overpower here and a little bit of curl here to the left to kind of cheat us away from that rough line. And as you're going to see here, that actually helped us out a fair amount here, because we're going to double bounce there right over that rough line, and the hill of the fairway there is actually going to push us further to the right there. So, it looks like we're going to want to put right spin on that, but left spin does just fine there. But what we're going to do here is play this hole with the big dog as our wood club here. So we're going to play this shot here at max left side spin with whichever ball that we're using here. Full top spin, and then we're going to play this with a little bit of overpower here if we want, especially if we have a headwind. But our end goal here is to try to get up as far as we can up this fairway, because we're going to have a little bit of a chip up to the green and trying to get it in the hole here. So I would recommend actually pulling this back and playing this with your wedge, especially with a lot of these, wedges at higher levels. You have a lot of topspin, so you'll be able to extend out that ball guide and hopefully make a nice shot in there to the pin. But I was deciding to use the thorn here on this specific approach to try to see if we could get the full backspin approach here to drop in. For a lot of you guys that would probably be using the long iron or the short iron here instead. So what we're going to do here is play this third shot here at 0% elevation, just straight up to the pin. And if we would have hit a perfect ball there, it would have probably been a lot closer. But just make sure you can hit a perfect shot there, and you should have a fairly nice chance there at grabbing that eagle. Okay, though, that is going to take us on over to hole number 4 here, par 3. So we're also going to be playing this hole here with our long iron here on the par 3s. So what we're going to do is move this up towards the little bit of hill there, and we're looking for a high arc to bounce here. And we're looking for about 4 and a little bit of a bar there of backspin, and we're looking for roughly about a bar of right-hand side spin at about 3/4 club there. So we're looking for about roughly about half a bar of right-hand side spin here, and we're looking for the high arced bounce to bounce us up, over, and down and sit right on the green there, hopefully rolling right into the pin there for a hole-in-one. So this is going to be played at max distance there, max distance numbers plus 10% straight at the pin, and hopefully you can snag that hole-in-one there on hole number 4, par 3, because this is going to be a really great chance there at the hole-in-one and snagging an extra stroke. But all right, guys, that is going to move us on over to hole number 5 here, par 4 now. So this shot here is going to be played one of 2 different ways. Now, we could actually play this down the right-hand side here, driving it down towards that little angle there on the left-hand cutout over that bunker towards the green there. But what we're going to do, if we want to play it safe and take a nice shot at the pin there to try to at least grab the eagle and take the best shot that we can at grabbing that extra stroke. So what we're going to do is play this at 0% off the tee box with about 5 bars of top spin and a bar of left-hand side spin here if you want to kind of cheat yourself down the middle of this fairway. But what we're going to do is bounce our ball down this left-hand fairway as far as we can, especially trying to get past that little lighthouse there. So if we can get past that light pole, that's the only thing there that may possibly be in our way at taking a straight shot here to the pin. Now, this is going to be played here at a long iron at max distance numbers plus 10%. Now, I do want to note, if you do want to see the more aggressive drive that is on the right-hand side, we do have that option as well in the Pro and Expert Division Guide if you guys wanted to check that out, especially if you're talking or thinking about hopping up into the higher divisions. But we're going to play this there at plus 10% with our long iron, looking for that high arced bounce here again at about a half or about a bar and a half to a bar of backspin here coming in straight at the pin there. Now, we should have moved that just a little bit farther than we did there in that specific clip, but make sure you guys just make a nice wind adjustment there, and you should be fairly okay. But now we're going to show you guys another clip here of this specific shot here and how you're going to have to make this shot if you want to do the best that you possibly can here in the tournament. Now, disclaimer, this is old footage again here, but we're not going to be playing this with any side spin. What we're going to do here is just play this straight at the pin here with a bar of backspin about 2.5 to 2 squares shy here of the pin, so that we still have that little bit of room to roll there, and we can still catch the pin and grab a nice eagle on this hole. So it is important to note here that we're going to be wanting to look for that high arc bounce. So our ball is going to bounce low towards the bottom of the hill there and come in straight, nice at the pin, and dropping for that eagle. Okay, guys, that's going to take us on over to hole number 6, par 5 here, the second par 5 that we have here today. So I do want to note that we are going to show you guys a little bit more of an aggressive approach here. Now, if you do not feel comfortable using this approach, you can bounce off of the island right before this here that we're going to show you here with the big dog. You can either use the big dog, or you can use a bar or 2, 3 bars at max with your driver here, and you can just bounce it right over onto that platform, and then use the big dog to curl your second shot up onto the platform and bounce over the rough. But if we're going to play this more aggressive drive here, either way you play it, it's going to be played here at plus 10% elevation. But this specific shot is going to be played at max distance. That other shot will be played at minimum distance, so keep that in mind. But our second shot here, no matter where we're taking it, is going to be played at minus 10%. So that's if we're bouncing on the platform before this, and we have to bounce over that rough line that's just before my target there. I would recommend using about 6 bars of topspin there, and some curl and some left-hand side spin to get over onto the green. And you may have to just chip in your ball, or it may land on the green, who knows. But if you can get over onto this fairway here, like we were talking about, you can make a nice shot here with a bar of left-hand side spin here, full backspin on your big dog, straight at the pin, and you should come in there fairly nice, almost snagging that albatross. Now, you can play this hole as well with the Guardian. Now, you're going to have to make a nice drive if you want to play this hole with the Guardian, but if you happen to go into the rough on this hole and you have to chip up to one of the platforms like this, say you chip up to the second platform here because you can't reach the green, and you have to try to chip over with the thorn here at about mid-distance to minimum distance here to try to save yourself and get that eagle. So what we're going to do here is play this shot at minimum distance here with our short iron at 0%. So we're not there's going to be no elevation here on this little chip over from platform to platform here over the rough line. So we just made a small adjustment there. You could see we had a 7.3 miles per hour wind, but all we had to do there was move that halfway into the red ring, and we came in there perfect, still snagging that eagle. Now, going back to what we were talking about, I also want to show you guys another clip here that we have of the albatross with the Guardian. Now, I wanted to show you guys with the Guardian here, we can still reach, even with a power 2 ball here, we can still reach the green on the Guardian, or with the Guardian here, to potentially get a better ball guide at the pin so that we could get that albatross. Now, it's important to note here at this specific shot, we're going to be playing this at minus 10% because this is our second shot here. So from that, off the drive, getting onto that long stretch of fairway over there, we're going to bounce up here with a couple bars of backspin, bar left-hand side spin coming in there, really nice, snagging that albatross and getting those extra strokes. Okay, that is going to move us on over to hole number 7 here, par 4. So we also have a pretty aggressive drive approach here on this hole as well. If we have a tailwind like this, I would recommend using at least a power 3 ball. And as you can see there, we had a 3.1 mile an hour wind. So we had a nice tailwind. But if you do not feel comfortable with that, you can play that shot straight down that left-hand fairway on the left-hand side, and it is a very, very good option as well. Now, this is only if we have a tailwind here that we're going to try this shot. Now, I hit great left here. If we would have hit perfect, we would have come in a little bit more to the right there, and we would have actually been able to bounce and come in more to the right, and we would have landed on the fairway. So just definitely keep that in mind. But if you do end up going in the rough there off of that shot and you have a ball guide on your rough iron, now as you can see here, I had no topspin and literally no ball guide almost on this razor at level 2. So I tried to go with what I thought might roll straight towards the pin there. But as you're going to see, with the wind even pushing my ball forward, my ball just completely died here. But if you have a good ball guide and, you can make a nice rough iron chip right out of the rough there, it will be a good opportunity there to still snag that eagle out of the rough and get that opportunity if you happen to mess up your drive there a little bit. But I do also want to note here that if you do play this down the left-hand side, you will still have a very good option here at snagging that eagle. So we're going to play the second shot here at plus 10% at about mid-distance there. So that's why we have mid or max distance here on our info guide on the right-hand side. But what we're going to do is play this with about 1.5 bars to 2 bars of backspin, leaving it about 1.5 squares to 2 squares shy of the pin. So it still has that little bit of room to roll here with our long iron, and we can snag that pin. So what we're going to do, just make sure that we play this straight at the pin there, like we said, perfect ball, and you should come in there fairly nice, being able to still snag that eagle with the long iron. That's going to be a great chance there, guys. So good luck out there and snag these strokes. All right, guys, moving on over to hole number 8, the last par 3 that we do have here today. This par 3 is as well going to be played with our long iron. So what we're going to do here is play this shot here at about 75% club with our long iron. Now we can pull this just a little bit back. Now I would recommend playing this either with the Goliath or a long iron that has a little bit more backspin. If you do not want to play this approach, you can play it with the Guardian as well and just lay it straight up onto the green with the Guardian. But if you really want to go for that hole-in-one, we're going to play it straight at the pin with about 1 bar of right-hand side spin with full backspin straight at the pin, and you should be very close there at snagging that hole-in-one. Okay, hole number 9. Let's do it. We got hole number 9 here, par 5. So what we're going to do is at least play this with a power 3 ball here. So we're wanting to play this with at least a power 3 ball, so we have the distance here on our second shot, as well as potentially having the distance on our first shot. Now, if we don't, and we have a headwind or a crosswind here that we can't reach that fairway where I'm bouncing to, we're going to play this bounce over shot here. Now we can bounce over with about 1 bar of right-hand side spin plus 10% off the tee box, full top spin here, straight, perfect shot there, straight down the middle of the fairway, and we're going to bounce from fairway to fairway there, getting as far down there to the right as we possibly can, hugging that right-hand side. Now, it is important to note that we can play that all the way up onto that other fairway, but do not play that shot with full topspin and full overpower. Only play it with about 3 bars of topspin. You can play it with about 25% curl to the right and full topspin, but you will go into the rough if you go and try to overpower onto that second platform. And your ball will not stay on the platform. So make sure that you're not just launching your ball, because you won't be able to reach the green, and you'll make a nice shot but look silly. But what we're going to do here on the second shot here is use the big dog. So we're going to play this with full topspin, full right-hand side spin, and plus 10% elevation as well. Now, this was insane. I could not believe that my ball still stayed on the green here as it went and rolled just down off the fringe there and just still caught the back end of that fairway. So be careful there, guys, as you guys use full topspin bouncing down there, even with a headwind there, or a tailwind. As you can see, we had a tailwind in that clip. It blew my ball, fairly far down there. So pay attention to that, guys. Make sure that you can get down there just outside of the fringe somewhere, so that you can chip your ball in there nice for the eagle and still snag that stroke. It's going to be a little bit of a more difficult one for you guys, but definitely one that I know you guys can manage. But that is going to be the wrap-up for today's walkthrough and guide video for Rookie Division in the Shiruba Springs 9-hole Cup. We really hope that this guide helped you guys and you got a nice general idea of how you guys are going to want to play this hole, and we really hope that it helped you. If you guys are still with us here and you haven't hit that subscribe button down there, hit that subscribe button for us and join the Team Energy family. We would definitely love to have you guys and would really hope to see a lot of you guys around. We've definitely noticed that some of you guys out there are not subscribed to the channel, so we're definitely encouraging you guys to do so, as well as joining our Facebook groups. We have a lot of action that's going on in our Facebook groups, and we're always posting our content in there, and we'd love to have you guys in there for some heavy debate and some cool Golf Clash content, and to share your shots and scorecards. It would be a lot of fun. We're always trying to grow and expand our community, so join the Team Energy family and help us spread those good vibes and positivity out there. And as always, happy golfing, guys, and have a great Shiruba Springs 9-hole Cup.